And I do think, Celeste, that a lot of people were pretty shocked when the story came out late in the day yesterday that Brian Kohberger, who has already admitted guilt, already admitted that he's the killer of the 4 people who died in that apartment building in Moscow, Idaho. So, but he said that, and he's already serving his time, his 4 life sentences, but now he wants to withdraw his guilty plea. It seems like a little late for a change of heart, but he even waived his right to an appeal. So the fact that he's going to try now seems pretty incredible.
Well, you know, it's interesting when you consider what he's claiming, that he could have been coerced into making a certain decision. We have Josh Kolsrud, our legal eagle, here with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
You know so much about this case. Why is he looking to do this?
Well, first of all, it's not uncommon for a defendant to file a petition for post-conviction relief. In other words, you know, an appeal on a former capital case. So here, he's representing himself. Pro per. He is asking for an attorney, but he's saying that I want to get out of the plea because, number one, there's actual evidence that can prove my innocence. For example, the male individual who was murdered, he had in his hand, he grabbed somebody's hair that wasn't Brian Kohberger's, and they don't know who it belongs to. So he's saying that that is exculpatory evidence that could prove his innocence. He's also saying that he's suffering from ineffective assistance of counsel, that they had lied to him about entering into a plea agreement. They said it's okay to lie about your guilt because you're not going to get the death penalty if you sign your name here. But the prosecution's saying, whoa, whoa, whoa. You signed a knowing and intelligent plea agreement where the judge literally asked you, you are pleading guilty because you are guilty. Isn't that correct? And he goes, yes, I am. He also had to admit to the facts of the case. Although it wasn't elaborate, it was, you entered this residence with the intent to murder, and then went through each and every victim, and he said, yes, I did that.
Wow.
How can you go back against those statements in court? What are the odds? Let's talk about that.
It's very small indeed. The law, especially in criminal cases, really likes finality. And when you have a bargain for process in a plea agreement where you have to admit to the crimes, wrongs, and acts and waive your appeal on a capital case, it would be extraordinary if he was able to get a new trial. But let's say he does. What happens? Well, the death penalty will be back on the table. And, to some of the victims' families, they'd actually like that. They didn't like the fact that the prosecution allowed him to plead guilty and not get the death penalty.
That was pretty controversial.
It was.
How can you believe anything that he says, though, after claiming all these things in the first trial? Let's say he presumptively gets an appeal, and then he shares his story afterwards and says, no, I'm not guilty. I feel like, how can you believe what he's saying?
You can't. And that's what the prosecution said when they were asked a question right after the plea agreement. Why didn't you have a more elaborate factual basis? So a factual basis is what the prosecution and the defense has to show to the court that the defendant actually committed a crime. But it was very bare bones, basically just read the indictment. And they said, well, we would ask him, in what order he killed the victims and for what reasons and all that kind of stuff, but he's just not credible. We can't believe anything he says. And it's the same for judges who read his appeal. So the only way that he can overcome the huge burden is to show corroboration. He has to actually show evidence. He can't just have a change of heart or argue the strength of the evidence. He has to have actual evidence that was unavailable at the time that he took the plea agreement.
So you said something interesting earlier and Ron, did you know that I didn't know this part of the case, but that the man that he allegedly murdered had someone's hair in his hand that was not Kohberger's?
That's correct.
Was it any one of the other victims?
It hasn't been identified, except for they have excluded Kohberger as identification for that hair. So it's not his. It could be somebody else's in the house. It could be a co-defendant. An unnamed co-defendant. A lot of people think that he did have a co-defendant with him, that there were so many things that had to go right to kill 4 people in the timeline that happened and drive away without detection. So a lot of people think that there was somebody else present in the house.
Okay.
Wow.
Let's jump into the next case. And this